We have got to put pressure on our legislators, on the mayor, on the governor. This is not about Italian Americans versus indigenous people and African people, African American people. This is not about that language. This is about doing what's right.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that there would be no America without stolen land and stolen people, that this fight for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness didn't start with the murders of George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, and Breonna Taylor, but it began when the first ships invaded these shores.
That's right.
That we can no longer celebrate our country without reckoning with our past and present. That this country is founded on the genocide of indigenous nations, the theft of their land, and the enslavement of African people. That the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness brand that America markets is a dangerous myth as we continue to oppress, dehumanize, and murder. That unless we all commit to fight for the lives and rights of Black, brown, indigenous, and other marginalized people, we will all continue to suffer the violence of systemic racism and white supremacy. That is why this 4th of July, we refuse to celebrate the whitewashing of this country.
That's right. That's right.
Instead, we will joyously and actively celebrate and honor the ancestors and activists who have fought and continue to fight tirelessly for the lives and rights of the people. We honor you. Power!
world right now, while this time, while everybody's trying to take down not only this statue, but all the statues that represent that trauma that our ancestors went through. We don't need to be reminded every time we want to go to a park or a library or a museum. We don't need that. We already feel it. We already know it. They belong somewhere else, not here in the streets. But people pass by and feel that pain over and over. You know, in less than 24 hours, I'm going to be a granddad. I got a baby coming tomorrow morning. And I want to know, I want that baby to know that I came here today, that I'm here to fight with everybody. So that future generation, for my family, hopefully don't have to suffer and come through here and walk through here and see that statue. So we're hoping one day that they will listen to us soon and remove all these objects that are all over the world, bringing on suffering to our people. So please support, please continue to show up, send up your voice, protect yourselves, protect your family, so we can be here and continue to do this. Hang hang. Hang hang katu.
Thank you all for coming out, man. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you guys actually came out today and stood with our Taino brothers, stood with our Native American and our Indigenous people, and we can only thank you all for that. There's a lot of history that's going on right now. Actually speaking, we're creating history right now by standing together, by standing united against the tyranny that was done by this man, Christopher Columbus. All right, he brought people over here before our people got over here. If anybody out in the crowd doesn't realize that, we was brought over here in 1692. My brothers over here, they was brought over here in the 1500s. They landed in Dominican, they landed in Brazil, they landed in Puerto Rico. All right, so you guys got to do your history to know that we were all brought over here on slave ships. And everybody who was brought over here on a slave ship, we need to stand together and we need to unite against that tyranny. We need to unite against our oppressors. And we need to show forth brotherly love. That's why I want to make sure all of everybody up here, man, no matter what color of creed you coming from, all my Puerto Rican brothers, all my Dominican brothers, just understand, man, that we got to have brotherly love. The more we love each other, the less they could do to us. The more we love each other and help each other, the less they could do to us. All right, we all from the same tribes. We might have some different names for the tribes or have a different understanding, but we all from the same tribes. They got all our people from the same land, and then they brought us over here. That's why we all do things similar within our cultures. The way we beat the drums, the way we dance, the way we cook, the way we love each other and love our families. It's similar to no other race out there, except for ours. We all one race, we all one tribe. All right, so that's my message for everybody today. Just keep the brotherly love strong. Keep the love between your brothers strong. Make sure don't know I was seeing somebody over there messing with my brother. I said, nah, it's not happening on my watch. All right, so make sure you don't let nobody mess with your brother, man. You see cops trying to hurt your brother, stand up for him. You see somebody trying to hurt your sister, stand up for him. All right, because without us standing up for each other, nobody else is gonna stand up for us. So that's my message. God bless everybody, and thanks a lot.
Born and raised in New York City, I spent 20-something years in the public school system, and I learned that the statue of this man right here was a hero and a savior, and without him, I would have no land to walk on. And I know that there's a certain word that I would like to use, but I'm not sure if I can, but we all know that that ain't it. We know that that's a lie. Absolute bullshit. Thank you for that. Pardon my French.
Good.
I'm very sick and tired of opening textbooks that are whitewashed and listening to my little cousins and their friends and the kids that I teach tell me a history that is absolutely not true. I'm a black man, and there's a lot of things about my people that I've learned in the past 5 years. It's ridiculous. I didn't learn it in a classroom. I didn't learn it from a professor. I learned it because I took the time to do so. So I'm going to implore everybody here, regardless of if you look like me or not, to do the work. We're doing the work. We're educating ourselves. We're out here. We're being heard, whether or not they want to pretend like we're here, because we are. And we're making a difference, and sometimes it can be very draining to be out here daily or almost daily, but we have to keep fighting and we have to keep doing this. There's no end goal in sight, but we know that the goal is just to keep things moving and to be progressive and to make change, and we're gonna do it by being out here every day. And I really just want to thank y'all all for being out here and giving me this platform to briefly speak and to just share this energy. So I'm gonna remind y'all to just stay safe and look out for each other.
Anashik Ichimanatu, Anashik Kishalamokwane, Elamiliang, Tukanaki, Indi, Dashon, and now, Anashik, 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 Anashik. These are words from the Munsee language, one of the original languages of these lands. And one of the consequences of Columbus, I'm more scared of the colonial virus than I am the coronavirus. One of the consequences of Columbus coming here is the destruction of our peoples. New York City is the most linguistically diverse region of the planet. Over 800 languages are spoken, but only recently has our language been revived and come back, the Munsee language, the original language of Manhattan. Manhattan is a Munsee word. There's so many levels of trauma that have happened here. One of it is dividing us from the land. The idea that the land can be appropriated by one person and another, and then dividing us from the land itself. And now they're trying to move on to the water and the air. And that's really total destruction. I mean, we share the waters, we share the air. We just need to get back to that place before Columbus. So I just wanted to thank you all for allowing me to honoring the original people of the land, and just want to thank everyone here. Anushi.
Sakana and didn't learn about the history until he was an adult. That says something. We have to teach our children better. I also did not learn my history. I was taught to be prejudiced against my own people. I was taught in school, the lighter your skin, the better. So, you know, we cannot do that. We have to be better for our children. We must teach our children to love every person, no matter the color of their skin, to love each other, to help one another, to treat Mother Earth with kindness and love. We have to do this for our children and our children's children. This is the point we've come to. This, you know, our government is set up for the rich white people. The government, we have to get out there, we have to vote, we have to get people like Jumaane Williams, you know, listen to the people who want to work for our rights, for the people who need it. I have a lot to say, I guess, but I just wanted to say I can't wait to bring that statue down. We need to change Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day. And I'm proud now to say I am born on October 12th, and I want it to be Indigenous Peoples Day.
Aloha! Aloha mai kako. Olehu nani de Franco ko'ui noa. Hello everyone, my name is Lehu Nani DeFranco. I want to talk about two things. One is the meaning of aloha. Does anybody know what it means? Besides my kiai back there who I know knows what it means. Anybody? Yes. So aloha, two words. Alo, front, ha, breath. It's an exchange of breath. So when I greet my Hawaiian brothers and sisters, we touch nose to nose and exchange breath. What is this Black Lives Movement about? Breath. I can't breathe. Do you see the pattern here? Do you see the pattern here? We are all fighting to breathe. The other thing, my mother's Hawaiian. My dad is Italian. This guy does not represent my culture. This guy does not represent my heritage. And I think about that a lot. I think about how my Italian brothers and sisters think of him as a hero. But do some research. There are people, Italians over this country, all over this country, who do not consider him a hero. There are groups, Italian Americans, against Columbus. So to any New Yorkers, any Italians out there, learn your history. Because the history of this guy in New York City was because Italians were being discriminated against. Was because we were the bottom feeders. And so the mayor wanted to give Italians a person to rally behind. But they gave us a rapist. They gave us a murderer. And what did a lot of Italians do? They said, okay, but that's not good enough. And that's not what we can do. We have to stand up, fight against racism, fight against hate, and breathe together. We need to exchange breath together because that is what we're all fighting for. And there's a lot of conflict inside. There's a lot of conflict acknowledging my history tied to this person. Trying not to curse in case there's kids around. And my indigenous side. But that's the thing. I am at the intersection of those two worlds. And if you think those two worlds can't come together, then what am I? I am literally the existence of that intersection. So anybody here that is Italian, or that guy earlier who didn't understand why we want this hatred of a monument down, learn the history, learn our history. Because look at this crowd. And I know a lot, like I recognize a lot of you guys. And I've seen you out in the streets, and we are here every single day, and we're fighting for what we consider sacred. And whether that's Mauna Kea, whether that's Standing Rock, we're gonna keep fighting. Because in the end, the most important thing that we're fighting for is breath. Is literally for us to breathe, all of us. Okay, I'm gonna leave you guys with one more offering. This is a chant that talks about bringing all of our brothers and sisters together. And it talks about standing strong as people of this land. It talks about standing strong with people, brothers and sisters, Indigenous brothers and sisters, and it talks about standing with allies. So this chant is for everybody. And my sister Myriad is gonna help me here. That is my mountain and what I stand for. Anti-Puan case says, like a mighty wave, we rise. And like a mighty wave, we all will rise above this system. I give you my deepest aloha to the Lenape people. I give my deepest aloha to the organizers of Indigenous Peoples Day and those who are all here. And I give my deepest aloha to Black lives and everyone who is feeling oppressed by this system.
We all are here together, right? We know what that statue up there represents. White supremacy, you've all been saying it. Patriarchy, colonialism, capitalism, all those systems of power that have been affecting our people every day for the past 500-something years. So I'm here supporting Indigenous Peoples Day, you know, giving thanks always to the land, to the original peoples here, the Nape, Schaghticoke, the Mohawk, the Dene, all the people we've been praying with the past. I've been out here 15 years. I'm away from home, right? California, Mexico, but the same thing. Columbus, Cortez, all those colonizers have been affecting our people, our children, our minds, our bodies. And so we're, you know, every day doing what we have to do to decolonize that, to bring it back to the what our ancestors used to do, and we do it every day. We live life as ceremony. So I just wanted to share that much right now, and then share this song with my sister here. I learned it on the Peace and Dignity Journeys. That's the prophecy of the eagle and the condor to unite all Indigenous peoples all throughout Turtle Island and Nahuatl, Diwan, Tisuyo. And this song, it honors women, because that statue also represents that. It represents the rape, the genocide, you know, the sterilization, the forced sterilization, the genocide of women, but not just 500-something years ago, today, yesterday, tomorrow. It represents that cultural genocide of trying to wipe out our people, because our bloodline continues through our mothers, our grandmothers, our fathers, our grandfathers, right? So it represents that. And I am a home birth midwife. I've dedicated my life to women, to birthing people, to the people, to keep our people strong, going through the mother bloodline. And so this song, it honors that, it honors women. And I thank all the women for speaking here today. I thank for all the men who support that, because we see how that plays out, not just in politics, but throughout ceremony. And so it's really important, and I love this song because it honors all those women, all those warrior women, all those missing, murdered Indigenous people, women, right? So I just share that much, and we'll sing 4 verses, keep it short. Kahiki Khatuasao. Linket Ayakhat, Dakwedi Ayaye Khatiti, Gosh na Khatiti. Glashish, Aksla, Glashish, Akhish, Glashish, Akhwan. Good day, my name is Jocelyn Kakik. I'm from the Tlingit Nation, Pacific Northwest Coast, Yukon, Canada. My clan is Dakwedi, the Eagle Killer Whale Clan. And I'm here today to sing a song here, Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women, the Women's Warrior Song. The song originates from Lillooet, BC. So I just want to acknowledge that. Acknowledge all my Indigenous sisters. And at the end, we're going to sing 4 rounds. And at the end, I'm going to ask all of you to please join in and sing with us. And hold your fists up at the end, so we're all as one.
Everyone, and good afternoon. Thank you all for coming out, making this a priority, taking the time in your life. This battle is not always convenient, but every single time we come out, it really, really counts. And it matters, every single one of you, every single spirit in here. So I'm going to offer with a kachimba. My name is Kanukunon. Look, my name is Kunanate Maroyanitu, and I represent my mother's side of the Taino lineage. I am also a mestiza, a mix. So I don't always look like what I am, but that really doesn't even matter because I know what I feel all the time. In spirit, and my ancestors walk with me every single day. And I represent by loving them and walking this way to always honor them and to keep these traditions alive for the generations to come, our children. Like my brother's grandchild is about to be born tomorrow. I want to congratulate. So with that, I just want to light this kachimba tobacco, which is the way I've been taught to honor and pray and petition and send our prayers and our voices up to Creator like that.
So I'm just gonna hold that space with you. I could say a lot of things, but sometimes less is more. So I'm just gonna say with this tabaco. Schaghticoke. Normally I would pass this around and share this prayer with all of you. But you know, in these days, I'm just gonna hold this space for you and honor that tabaco is our first medicine, as is our water, kunigua, moingua, matavera, and that's the blood of the earth. And we have to protect all of that, again, for our children. The other thing that I'm going to say, if anyone that knows me for most of my life, I'm a New Yorker, and you would ask them what my greatest fantasy was, it would be bringing down that man right there. And I always spoke about it. And I live not too far away, and I cannot tell you how many times I've sat and studied, you know, the whole environment to see if I could do that someday. And you know what? I believe that this is the day, and it's gonna come down, it's gonna happen. I recently just circulated a petition about Theodore Roosevelt, and that's already been decided, and people told me that would be a miracle. So I just say, keep the faith, and you know, prayer is powerful, especially when we all put our minds together. And I also want to say, think about, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Because we are here to breathe. And I know that sentiment is said in compassion. And I also want to say, you know, keep just a moment of silence for everyone that's lost a life in this battle, that's experienced their life being cut short. And we are here to still breathe for them as well. So let's manifest that. I can breathe and breathe as best as we can. Breathing is life also. Water is life, and so is breathing. So I can't breathe is also something that we need to chant. I can't breathe, and we are breathing, and we're here today breathing. So with that, I want to say thank you humbly for hearing me, taking a moment to hear what I have to say. And let's go do it.
Manaya kankuna nyoka suti maya. Nyoka kani quechua warmi nyoka taita Juan nyoka mamai Nora Bachi kankuna. My name is Maya. I'm a Quechua woman and mixed European descent as well. And I'm just gonna keep it really short. I just want to say to acknowledge first and foremost that we are currently occupy Lenape hoping. And I want to give acknowledgement to all of the ancestors that prayed and tended and took care of the land that we are currently living on. And I want to take the opportunity to remind ourselves, you know, to remember our traditional languages, our traditional ways, our traditional dances and traditional ceremonies. And I also want to take the time to remember that Black lives still matter, and to not give up, to not stay silent on injustices such as colonialism and racism, police brutality. It's all connected, and we're all affected, regardless of our culture and the color of our skin. One injustice to a nation is injustice to the other. So from everyone from the four corners, it's really inspiring and really good to see everyone here today. And I want to give acknowledgement to the sun and the moon for coming up and showing up again today and being there for us. And lastly, I want to say abolish ICE, fuck ICE, and free the children from the cages, abolish borders. These borders were imposed on us. You know, our ancestors, they were natural migrators. We move around. That's just where we are and we were. And I also want to remember to to fight to defund the NYPD, and the NYPD does not belong in schools. And I see a future of our children where they learn about the actual history and not some lies about some racist, rapist people like Columbus and other people, colonizers. So let's continue to show up. I'm happy I don't really have that much to say, just introduce myself. My people were Quechua, from the Altiplano, from South America, and we stand in solidarity with all other currently colonized people, although we're not colonized because we're still here, you know, but they tried to, and they did not succeed. So thank you, Pashi, and I hope everyone has a nice evening. Go home.
Hello, brothers and sisters. My name is Walter Sinche. I just want to freshen up a little bit of my memory about this monument that represents, you know what, negativity. It's very upsetting sometimes because when I came to this country when I was 18 years old, 30-something years, I'm still here. That means resistance. We have to keep standing up all the time. Do not back down. I see a lot of young people also here. The struggle still is on. So resistance is very important for us as a community. Here in New York City especially, because racism is on top of the blood. You know, capitalism and all that. The police officers, they're humans as well behind those uniforms. So resist, that's my message right now, because eventually that's gonna come down. I remember I went up there one time. I wanted to kind of bring it down by myself, it was a little too heavy. So, but it is gonna be possible. So we have to stay strong and together. Once again, borders divide us. All human lives matter, not only black lives matter. All human lives matter. The tree, an animal, all matters. So once again, thanks from my bottom of my heart. Keep the fight on. Take care, my brother.
I'd like to thank each and every one of you for coming and welcome you to this great moment in time. I want to remind everyone that the most powerful people in the world are here. The most powerful things that we hold is each other. And this lie and this mythology that has kept all of us separated for eons will no longer go forward. May I ask in a good way that the Creator hold and bless each and every one of us in a real good way.
Oh, thank you, Chief. Thank you for coming.
Hello, Dairi Cuyo Areito, Gabriel Román de Rosales de Carmen de Dimas Canal Perez, Cuyo Areito, Umpetu Ampetu, and I'd like to say it's an honor to be here with all of you to celebrate together and to talk about this man over here and what he did to my people, your people, all of our people. And I'm with the fight for everybody and the fight against injustice. And I want to thank the chiefs for coming out here and for all of the elders that spoke, for all the women that spoke, for all the people that spoke and are raising awareness of this issue that I feel like is so prominent and is so important for the next generation. You know, my little nephew is going to be born tomorrow, and like my father said, you know, it's really important for the next generation to be aware of the importance of unity and the importance of understanding our real history so that we can move forward and make this world a better place. So I'm going to sing this song. It's an honoring song in my language, in the Taino language. And thank you all so much. This is a real big honor. Thank you so much. Hey,
conversation. You know, this is a conversation about America. You know, I was in Italy this summer, you know, and I just kept walking around and asking Italians, you know, what they thought about Columbus. They were like, all giving me the shrug, like, Columbus? Who's Columbus? Think about this. He was sent back to Spain in a ship in chains as a criminal. And he was put in jail as a criminal for over a year. For over a year for the crimes that he committed in the Caribbean. So think about that. That is the person that's in a statue right here for the entire city, regardless of your color, race, creed, or religion. Regardless of it. They're telling you, New York City is saying, hey, honor this guy. Honor this guy. If New York City is so attached to this dude, put him in a museum. Put him in a museum. Isn't Ridley's Believe It or Not is that still on 42nd Street? Yeah. I say put him in Ridley's Believe It or Not. There's a statue of this cat. Really, seriously. That's all you gotta do. Because that's what this statue says. It says that regardless of what you believe, regardless of your history, regardless of the fact that this individual created the transatlantic slave trade and ripped millions and millions of our brothers, of our allies, of our relatives from Africa, murdered, raped our ancestors and created that mindset as the Spaniards moved into South America and into Central America and then into North America. So we have to think about that. I don't want to go on any longer. I just want to thank all of you. Now, here's some things. The Indigenous People NYC. So it's go ahead, Claudia, help me. IPD-NYC is the Instagram, is the website, right? So then there are all the organizations that are part of that.